Hey, come on in. All right, this is an Anti Eternia Beastman. That is the Beastman of the month. I have an Anti Eternia He-Man, and I'm just putting Beastman's armor on this. Doesn't have the hairy arms. None of them have really hairy legs, but I can fix that. So these pieces are from a kit. This is Beastman's feet, and these are just really nice feet. I like them. I put them on most of my Beastmen now, and they are from another customizer who I will put in the comments here because they're pretty awesome. And that head, yeah, I think it's a 200X head that I sculpted in Blender. I took a scan of the original 200X head, and I ended up sculpting over it on Blender and making it what I wanted it to be. So the head's a little bit different. And that's just me dremeling out the head to make sure it fits. Going to take him all apart. I'm also swapping out his hands. You'll see that later. This is a little set of Beastman armor here. This all has to be painted. So when I'm doing heads, I normally glue them onto this Stripper Stratos torso, and I use a flexible hot glue that allows me to take the heads on and off because it fills that cavity, but it's just spongy enough. So this is the Anti Eternia color. This is the darker red that there is. There's a bright red and a dark red, and I just wanted to use both. Because his skin is black, the feet have to go black. And then he's got those boots on, but the boots are a little strappy, so I thought I would just add straps over his feet. Everything gets blacked out first. I think that the Horde have like the best color scheme with the black and red, and just being able to put that black and red color scheme on other stuff. I've seen a lot of customizers do Anti Eternia stuff. There's a real nice Anti Eternia Buzz Off. Really cool looking. But any figure would look good this way because black and red go so well together. And adding in that deep burgundy color, really nice. So here these arms need to be painted. And why does his arms need to be painted? These are bigger arms. I used Andre the Giant's arms because I wanted Beastman to have these bigger, beefier arms. When I was a kid, I always swapped out Beastman's arms with Gargo from Black Star. Yeah, the Black Star toy line, which were these cool, you know, orange clawed arms. They had bigger claws, and I liked that for Beastman, and his arms are bigger. And that made him look more like a primate. So what you see on that headpiece, and I did it almost off camera. It was a little bit in camera. You can go back, you can see it. But I used 5-minute epoxy, and the 5-minute epoxy, I went and I added more bigger horns onto the Beastman armor because I thought that looked cool. In order to get all my colors right, what I did was I took a Beastman coloring book page, and I used that in Photoshop to test the different colors, or like where they should go. See how I'm painting straps on the feet? So now it looks like those little boots are kind of strapped on, and that, you know, at least he's got like shin protection. They're the most useless shoes ever, but you know what? Maybe he wants to climb with his toes. Everything needs a couple coats. I'm using P3 paints, and I'm using ghost brushes. I love ghost brushes. I got to meet the guy behind Ghost Brushes when I was at the Midwest Haunters convention. Wait, East Coast Haunters? One of the haunt conventions, I got to meet the man behind Ghost Brushes. I've been to 2 haunt conventions in less than a month, so forgive me. But yeah, very cool stuff. I think it was Midwest. So now I'm just trying something, right? I'm using the soldering iron to burn hair in. I want to make sure it's cleaned up. So I'm burning in little lines to look like hair. and I do it on his legs, and it looks good. So I go ahead and I go for it. I'm doing the whole thing, and that's going to give him like a hair texture. I'm doing his chest because it's easier to use the Anti Eternia torso and legs, but they're not hairy. And it really looks nice. I do zoom in on it here, and you can kind of see what's happening because it's taken off one layer of paint. But Andre the Giant is awesome. I love having that bigger buck to do things with. And some figures just need the bigger arms. They did that for the Turtles of Grayskull He-Man, and that looked really cool. And I do it for Beastman now. I'm still trying to find my quintessential Beastman, like which one is Beastman. All these other Beastmen will be members of his race, you know. So now they get another coat because I took some of the paint off. And several coats are good. The P3 paints are really flexible. Even on the armor, they hold up really well. I can take the armor on and off and really not stress it out too much. So that's a little ghost brush, dry brush. I love that little thing. And now I'm doing some detail on the head. There's not a lot of colors. So just some white teeth. I think there's white in the eyes. Yep. This was not a difficult paint job. And I started with a black torso and legs. So this is one of my shortest customs. I think this took me 2.5 hours. You know what? No, it took me 2 hours because I had a 1 hour and 56 minutes of footage. And I did it start to finish. So this is my hobby. Like, this is what I enjoy doing. And I painted those the burgundy color, and then I went and I realized, oh, you know what? They're supposed to be bright red. Because I'm using my reference that I made. And this is what you kind of have to do if you're working on a push. I did those. Those are drying. I go back while the eyes dried. I did the arm pieces of armor, and then while those are drying, I go back to the head. I do a little bit of red on the head. I'm not the best painter in the world. I'm a little rough and tumble and sloppy, but I'm trying, and I'm trying to work on my finesse a little bit. I'll never be amazing, but boy, do I have fun. Yeah, and I think this was the right way to do that, putting the white back in over top of the red. Oh, forgive me. All right. I got those wrestling belts there are from some Hulk Hogan figures that I got at Ollie's. They were $3. What a bargain. Can't wait to turn them into something. I was testing that belt to see how I liked it. I did not. And it wasn't very Anti-Eternia. So yeah, second coat on all of the colors. And this guy kind of goes together, you know. The head is 3D printed. I 3D printed that from something that I sculpted. The Beastman armor is 3D printed. I did not sculpt that. I got it from Colts 3D. Maybe it's RB3LD. Maybe it's not. I'd have to check and see. But oh, this is exciting. You start to put it together. And, you know, it's when I put it together, I realize, oh, he needs some cuffs. He needs something on his wrist because I didn't like that transition. The hands are ones that I purchased the files from Colts and then I modified them. These were Nosferatu hands, and I changed them into originally Yeti hands. And these I just did for Beastman. Shortened the fingers, added hair on the back of the hand, that kind of stuff. This is Warbler. So this Warbler I'm just putting some grooves in, and that's going to be his bracers. I was going to do the cool looking spiked bracers that Ninja Turtle He-Man has. I love those, but I did not have enough. I used one on Trapjaw, so I wasn't able to use, I didn't have two left in order to put on this guy. here I am hitting his little toenails, getting himself a pedicure, and the fingernails. It's kind of all about details, right? Like that's kind of important. I was really happy with how this figure turned out. And just to emphasize those little rings that I creased in, I went ahead and I touched those with paint. What's nice is that when you have the bright red, you can use the darker red on top of it. And when you have the dark red, you can use the bright red. You still get a little bit of depth out of it. And I think the Horde is kind of missing that. I am mixing up 5 minute, oh, that's 5 minute epoxy putty in order to glue on, because that stuff's very sticky, those shoulder pieces. They're not pauldrons. They kind of fit on his bicep on the outside. Look at that figure. What a beast. I really love how he turned out. Look at them hairy legs. We made those. Look at them hairy hands. Beastman is just the coolest. That's all I have to say about that. Thanks for watching. See you later. Subscribe.